Okay, it is Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen, and I am glad that some people are reaching out to me to clarify a few points. So I'm going to clarify a few points for you because I think it's great that you're reaching out and we can correct this earlier rather than later, okay? I'm going to send this out to you as an email attachment. It'll be an MP4, right? It'll be a YouTube video that I make. I post it on my YouTube educational channel. And then I'll have a link, and it will be embedded in an email. And I want you to tell me, I want you to email me and let me know that you have watched this video after you've watched it. You ignore this video and you kind of barrel into choosing a topic without really reading the guidelines at your peril. So, I know it's a little late. I'm going to give people some chance to work on the first, we're working on this declaration of a project, but here is what you have to do. You have to do this. This is not up for negotiation. Okay? This is not a class in what I think I might want to do. This is what you got to do. So I want you to go back to your learning modules. Okay? I want you to go down here to back to the first module. Okay? I want you to go to the first module. Let me switch my head around here, where it says review the final project guidelines and rubric PDF. Those of you who, and some people don't, and you had to work, who had the opportunity to do this, are not going to have a problem. And many of you are probably going to do just fine, okay? But, I'm getting some statements and requests, and you can't just pick a topic, out of the... Here's what you got to do, okay? So go back here, if you haven't done it, and click on this. Okay, I want you to read every page of this, okay? Don't just leap in and go, oh, I'm going to write about, about violence. Or I'm going to write about racism. Or I'm going to write about some really broad topic. No. Sociology is a scientific study of human behavior. Okay? The project is divided into 3 milestones. The first one, the better you do now starting off, the better off you're going to be. Okay? You have to, okay, so, let me explain what a prompt is here. Because a lot of people just go, oh, these are topics. I'm just going to pick one of these. No. Don't write me a paper about crime and violence or drug and alcohol abuse. Don't do it. You will not succeed. Okay? Here's what you got to do. Okay? These are called prompts. Choose an issue of an issue of interest to you that you find in the news or media, or perhaps one that you encounter. These are just like suggestions for broad ideas. Okay? You have to think clearly about this. These are just prompts. They are not topics. Here is where you go if you want to narrow your topic to where you want to do. Now, I've had some people have come up with some excellent ideas. But you have to ground your ideas not in your opinion, not in how you feel about it, but in the scientific literature, the research. This is a class in research, okay? This is, this is not a psychology class. It's not a class in documenting how I feel about an issue. It's a class in scientific observation. Okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do, these are prompts. Understand what the word prompt means. It's to start you thinking if you haven't already started thinking about a topic. Now, if you have, that's great. Follow through, run it by me, but make it very specific. Here's a great example of a topic. Somebody was talking about there's a refugee crisis in Syria. Okay, there's been a war there for 6 years, and the Syrians, have had to flee to neighboring countries, and so some of them to Germany and Europe. And there's a humanitarian crisis. Okay, so that's a specific topic. That's a process that somebody had just described to me, and it's an excellent example. But if you go, bullying is very bad, that's forget it. What you got to do is go down here to this section. You'll need to refer not only your text, but other additional supporting resources as you work on the project. So go down here, and I want you to look at the supporting resource list. Right? Should you choose to do a topic, so bullying's a thought prompt, but bullying is too broad and too vague a topic for you to write about. Here's some potential subtopics. Cyberbullying. That's bullying people online. School bullying. Or workplace bullying. Pick one. Start with a narrow focus, not a broad one. This isn't a class in writing a reaction paper or an opinion paper. This is a class because what you have to do is look at the cultural, social roles, social inequality, and societal values about a particular topic, and you're going to incorporate those into your paper, and that's why you have to read every milestone guideline in the final paper now, before we get started, or else I go wrestling back and forth with you, and you won't have any fun. I want you to enjoy the class a little bit. So, okay, there's new perspectives on bullying. Okay, we've got great 4 resources right here. Any one of these could constitute, your literature. You need to have these, and you need to provide citations. Not tell me how you feel about something. You do that, it's going to get thrown back to you. Okay, and you'll have to rewrite it. Okay, crime and violence is too broad. It should be violent crime. But here's some subtopics. Again, that's too broad. Do not write me a paper about crime and violence. Hate crimes, gang-related crimes, white-collar crimes, geographically specific crimes, rural crime. You could write about anything. Narrow it down, okay? The same with drug and alcohol abuse. Do not write me a paper about drug and alcohol abuse. You can get an entire bachelor's degree in drug and alcohol abuse counseling. You're not going to be able to do that in the paper. So don't write me, and I don't want to read about the Aztecs. That seems to be, because it starts with the letter A, that pops up in everybody's Google search. You do that, I will hand it back to you and tell you to redo it. I'm not looking for the history of all drug and all alcohol abuse. I'm looking for how this applies as a social problem. What are some social problems? Addiction. Well, people addicted to drugs and alcohol, yeah. Addiction has a specific name. The opioid epidemic. Prescription drug abuse. Alcohol abuse. Narrow it down. Give me one thing. And here are your references here. Now, income inequality and wealth distribution, you can look at the wage gap or welfare. People have written me great papers about like the gender gap, for example, but you better narrow your focus, or I'll have you redo the paper, and we're there's no negotiating this. You can't write a paper about a vague, about a broad topic like patriotism or racism or something like that. No. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Like, for example, some stuff that's not here on the chart, right? Let me give you some other examples. They're not here. Okay? For example, racism. You could do an entire master's or degree on structural racism. What we're talking about when we're talking about racism in sociology is structural racism. So where does that play out? There are a whole host of research topics you could do. You could do law enforcement policy, right? Okay, you could do, the criminal justice system, okay? That's can be a problem, right? You can do, discrimination in healthcare. You can do discrimination in mortgage, and credit decisions based on race, right? That's a profound impact. And there's entire literatures that you can go in and you can search that have to do with every one of these. But if you don't do this, please, I'm just going to send you this video and have you rewatch it and say, this is no good. You rewatch the video. Okay. So you got, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come up with something, but please, here are the elements that you're going to identify. Okay. But move past the prompts, please. And if you think of an original topic or one that's not necessarily original, we're not looking for originality here, incidentally. This isn't a creative writing class, okay? Again, what is sociology? Okay, the scientific study of human behavior. So we're going to be focusing on problems, social problems, right? Here you go. There's a link to the library and the Pew Research Center are great starting points. This is a research paper, not an opinion paper, not a paper that you might have written in a composition class. I can't underscore this enough. It sounds like I'm being mean or trenchant. I'm sorry. I want you to succeed. That's my goal here, okay? Look at these milestones, right? Another thing I'm not going to do, which people seem to like to do, is to throw something at me and then redo it later, okay? I'll allow a little bit of redoing, but your initial grade is going to stand, right? For these milestones. If you get to milestone 1 and I tell you redo it and tool it up, it will pan out well for you. I've seen people improve greatly, right? But go down here and do what Stephen Covey says and begin with the end in mind. Milestone 1, 2, and 3 all lead to the final paper. If you do milestone 3 correctly, because you've done milestones 1 and 2 correctly, you will have written your final paper before you even have to we get to the end of the class. But you've got to do this. Okay? They're doing modules 2, 4, 5, and then the final submission of the paper is in 7. All right. So that go back to module 1. I'm going to start. What I'm going to do is post this on YouTube, and then send you the link. It's on my YouTube educational channel. You will have the link embedded in an email, which I will send to you this evening. With my computer, it takes about, I guess about 40 minutes for this to load. So it's like watching paint dry. And this is about a 15-minute long video. Please, you must watch this. Okay? Thank you.